What you just heard were a few of my go-to sounds from my pedalboard rig. I spent years dialing in the sweet spot for my sound, which is ultimately why I don't reach for my Quad Cortex outside of a live setting. But I wondered if I was able to get my Quad Cortex sounding as good as my pedalboard, if that might change. So I set out to recreate my pedalboard in the Quad Cortex, and now I'm pretty torn up about it because it sounds good. Dang. Now I'm wondering if my pedalboard is just gonna become a dust collecting piece of decor in my home studio. Well, let me take you along for the journey so you can hear it for yourself. My pedalboard runs into a Walrus Audio ACS1 original firmware with an AC style amp on the left and a Fender style amp on the right. Let's dial up some amp sounds to see if we can get it to sounding as good, if not better, than the ACS1. Spent an hour dialing in one amp sound, but I just did that. I went through with the parametric EQ. That definitely seemed to do a lot in terms of making it feel a little more lifelike. I'm gonna show you what I got. I think it's pretty good. 30 seconds later, I was once again unsatisfied with the tone, so I ended up doing some match EQ work comparing my real amp to the Quad Cortex. There's something about the frequency balance in the Quad Cortex that like kind of gives it away for me, and I wanted to see if this is something that I might be able to correct. It was super tedious, but overall, I do think it made a pretty significant difference to the tone. 3.5 hours later, the amps are now squared away. My compressor is a Walrus Audio Deep 6, and I use this pretty lightly. I think it makes the overall tone sound just like a little more analog. Now I'm gonna try and put in a compressor, which I always kind of go back and forth on. I use mine so lightly, it's just kind of tape saturation. Yeah, it does add something, I like it. Let's try another one. That sounds good. I think the Quad Cortex compressor is actually doing more for my tone than the Deep 6 is. And I'm not mad about it. The latest addition to my board was a JHS Bender Fuzz. They actually have a model of my fuzz pedal in here, so gonna start there and see what we can get. So much darker. Well, it sounds good. I do like it. I think it's a little rattier than mine, but it is cool. My fuzz is definitely a little more crackly. If I turn the tone all the way up, he gets there. But I'm kind of liking the smooth sound. Same or better, right? It's definitely not a one-for-one copy of what I have going on with the pedalboard, but I'm pretty happy with the landing spot. I utilize a 2-stage drive system, and the Belle Starr is my lighter overdrive. For my 2 overdrives, I could use captures of the pedals, which I've done, and I think they sound pretty good. There's something in the neural capture that modifies the EQ just a little bit, so I'm thinking that might not be the move, and I'm gonna try playing with a few of their own blocks and models. This is what I came up with for my stage 1 drive. My stage 2 overdrive is a JHS Moonshine, and I use this one kind of like a lead tone pedal. And this is what I came up with for my stage 2 drive. I'm not a not a big mod guy because most of my modulation comes from my delays and reverbs, but I do use a chorus from time to time. It's been a second since I've edited this much on the Quad Cortex, and I forgot how much I like it. This came out nice. I love how wide it is. The timeline is just so elite. I love the sound of the delays. They're lush, they're rich, and they really cut. Now for a little bit of delay. Woo! I feel like this is the one thing on the Quad Cortex I haven't quite got to sound like my Strymons. Even though I'm using a tape delay on the timeline, I ended up switching from tape to analog. The analog delays seem to cut through a little more while still having that sort of wobbly, modulated feel of the timeline tape echo. I've been a BigSky guy since 2015, and like just about every other guitarist who has this pedal, the cloud setting has become my go-to preset sound. Now for that secret sauce. Something about the BigSky reverb just feels a little bit thicker and a little more lush, which is why I think you need to stack a couple different reverb modules. I like the cloud setting I dialed in before on the Quad Cortex, but I think this one's even better. Now that all the individual pieces in the preset sound good, at least to my ear, I think we're ready for the shootout. Here's the same piece of music, volumes all match. The only difference, one was recorded with the Quad Cortex and one was recorded with my pedal board. I think my pedalboard preset in the Quad Cortex sounds pretty dang good. I really like my go-to preset I had before, and I still do, but this one feels next level. I could actually see myself reaching for the Quad Cortex over my pedalboard when working on recordings or arrangements at home. You can grab a copy of this preset for yourself through the link in the description below. If you get a copy of the JM Pedalboard preset, I'm gonna send you a PDF explaining exactly all of my settings, and you'll also get a transfer of the preset via Cortex Cloud. Cause this one was honestly a hassle to make, so I don't think you're gonna wanna sit there and dial this in. Anyways, this is my first time time doing a product that's a preset transfer. It might be a little clunky the first couple days, so I appreciate your patience bearing with me. It's gonna get better, I promise. Big thank you to everyone who grabs a copy of the preset. It's a huge support to the channel and it really does mean a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video and the tone, be sure to leave a like before you head out and share it with a fellow Quad Cortex user. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will catch you next time.
Go buy my preset. I love you forever.